Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another reading of the Daodejing here today on Jamming on the Tao with myself, Mark, and my good buddy Adam. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Let's
Doing
do it.
good? Looking good? Feeling good? All right.
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk about number nine today. Number nine. Number nine. This is a very interesting number, number nine. It is
Mm-hmm.
signified in a lot of different cultures as that completion number,
Mm-hmm.
leading a cycle. We even see it in our in our regular numeric numbering system, 1 through 9, and then you start again with 10, bringing in the one again, and it so nine really signifies that completion of a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if that's even brought through in some of this. It might not be, but I just want to throw that out there to begin with. I have two versions here I'm going to read. This is a very short one, so I'm going to read them both. The first one is from the Jiafu Feng and Jane English version. Number 9. Better stop short than fill to the brim. Over sharpen the blade, and the edge will soon blunt. Amass a store of gold and jade, and no one can protect it. Claim wealth and titles, and disaster will follow. Retire when the work is done. This is the way of heaven. And I have John H. McDonald in this version
Mm-hmm.
here. Number 9. It is easier to carry an empty cup than one that is filled to the brim. The sharper the knife, the easier it is to dull. The more wealth you possess, the harder it is to protect. Pride brings its own trouble. When you have accomplished your goal, simply walk away. This is the pathway to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this one says it right here. Pride brings its own trouble. That kind of
Mm-hmm.
wraps it all up right
It
there.
does. It does. The sort
Talking
of
about the overcompensating and
mm-hmm.
overachieving and overstriving and
Mm-hmm.
always wanting that more, 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 better, better, better.
Mm-hmm.
Just understand the limitations and the thresholds and adhere to them and you know
Mm-hmm.
won't overflow. You want to walk
Mm-hmm.
around with a cup that's spilling all over the place? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
mm-mm. What you got?
Yeah. No, I would say first of all, the pride thing can't help but like remember the Christian kind of Catholic background that you and I grew up in, and it kind of the Christian analog would be pride comes before the fall, right? Um, that lesson of pride comes before the fall, speaking to the fall of Satan in that angel mythology of
Well, pride is
Christianity.
also a seven deadly sin, right? One of the
And yes, yes, yes. And so, but I think this is a really powerful, like, I love the metaphor for some reason of like the bowl too, where it's like, you know, everyone does this too. Like, if you fill a cereal bowl all the way to the top and then you realize you want to move your bowl, you're in trouble, right? And so I really think this approach of like being mindful that the maximum is not the best is especially helpful for a Western audience or a land and culture like America that we grew up in, where like we grew up with the adage, right? And it's a joke, but people too take it seriously. The adage of bigger is better,
yeah.
right? And like, wow, we see what happens to a culture that operates under that
Size
principle of
matters.
bigger the better. The bigger is better fundamentally. It's a really sketchy first principle to base a culture on, as we're seeing in
Yeah,
our current moment in time.
because where do you draw the line, right? Where does it end?
Woo!
It never ends. It's a vicious cycle that never ends and never brings satisfaction.
Nope.
There's
Just
always more. Always.
overconsumption
Yeah.
and no satiety.
And that's a huge thing plaguing our society, especially American
Sure
culture,
is.
Western culture in
Sure
general,
is.
but the world at large, I believe,
Yeah.
has this materialism concept all over, and consumption is all over, and it's too much. It's too much, man. Always
Hmm.
sharpening the blade, always being the sharpest, the best. It's not used, it's not weathered, it doesn't have its character. It's just like this pristine sharp edge. It's going to be the first one to dull in a battle.
Hmm.
Amassing store of gold and jade. How big are you going to make this store of precious jewels that you can't even protect it? And then what's the point of even having it?
That's it. There's no point. There's
Yeah.
no point.
I also like the talking about work. And in this version, I have retire when the work is done.
Uh-huh.
This one, when you have accomplished your goal, simply walk away. That's
Yes,
very powerful too. And that's a
it is.
lesson that many of us need to adhere to. It's like this perfectionism, always tinkering or tweaking,
Yep.
better and perfect.
Yep.
Like, and I've been in a creative industry my whole career doing video and design work, and I've seen this firsthand with clients making these crazy tweaks to things that
Yeah.
the first few enhance it a bit, but you keep on going,
Yeah.
twisting and prodding and poking,
Yeah.
and you end up losing the essence of what it originally started as because you've messed with it so damn much.
And the phrase is coming to mind, which might be really appropriate for an editor, like the editing situation you described, which is death by a million cuts,
Yeah,
right? It's like every single slice, every single attempt to perfect takes you out of the integrity of the thing that you were doing in the first place. It's extremely
every
true. And you can
time
see this
because
dynamic
you just
across
get further
scales.
away from the original concept.
Yep. Yep.
Right. And the original
Yep.
concept is born out of original creation, right? Ideas are birthed. We've talked about this in some other versions, especially number 42, with the birthing of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these ideas are powerful. That's how they come to us and they come through us.
Mm-hmm.
And they're amazing. And sure, maybe need a little sprucing up, but when you get so far removed from that original thought,
Mm-hmm.
it takes on a whole new thing now. It's such a
Mm-hmm.
derivative of that it's now its own thing.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think I just love this. I do like the way that they use work here. Ursula Le Guin, I have hers up. She uses something very similar in that part where she says, to do good, work well, and lie low is the way of the blessing,
Mm,
right? So that's her way of saying that piece about that's the way of heaven, right?
right.
And I just love that idea of like work well, lie low. Like this is something that all of us can easily incorporate into our lives. Do the thing and then you're
Be
done
done.
with the thing.
Be done with it.
We move on to the next thing. We get our rest,
Yeah.
right? And like I think this is really critical, and it kind of maps with some of the Vedic wisdom that I'm familiar with, especially around like the archetype of Vishnu, where this idea of like, or and Krishna too, where like this idea of doing things without worrying about the outcome of the things, do the things well, and then that's it.
Yeah.
You let the thing speak for itself, and
Mhm.
you let the work do what it needs to do. And if the work is appropriate, it's already aligned with what needs to happen, right? If we're operating from this way of the Tao, right, we're not doing work forcing things. We're doing work because it's necessary work,
Mhm.
right? And then when the necessary work is done, okay,
And you
lie
have to know
low.
the difference between when something's coming through you or when you're forcing something.
Yeah, that is an
This
important
happens to
distinction.
artists a lot, writers especially,
True.
where but anyone really, where you do something so much, and this can relate to relationships even, or
Oh yeah.
you're too much trying to do something to make it better, to fix it, and
Yeah.
you're forgetting why the original attraction was there.
No, it's true. And also like it kind of gets into this very linear thinking, right? Of like this process is here to get this end outcome. And it's like, wait, but the process is itself the beautiful thing that we can focus on. We just commit ourselves to the process, right? And doing that gives us integrity and it produces great things at the same time. And we don't need to focus on the like because when we're focused on the outcome, we're trying to perfect and we're trying to control things that we can't control or perfect. But if we honor the process and do the work,
Hmm.
it'll pay off.
Yep. Yeah.
Or we
Pretty
won't, and we'll
simple,
get our
right?
damn rest afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? But it'll do what it was going to do, whether that's do the thing or teach you about how not to do the thing in the future.
Pretty simple. Seems like that pretty much covers most of it. It's a short one. It seems pretty to the point. A lot of these are very open to interpretation and questioning and going off
Mhm,
on tangents. And this one seems
mhm.
pretty blunt in a lot of ways. It's like just focus on what you're doing, do the thing, and move on.
And I think we're
Dude,
mirroring this
bro,
energy by being like, let's not overdo
yeah, let's not
this video.
let's keep going. It's
Right,
done.
we done covered it.
We're
Okay.
done. Okay,
The
next.
work is done.
All right,
Let's
stay
lie low now.
tuned. Yeah, yeah, I think that's a good point. We should just kind of stay true to the message of this number nine, which also relates a little bit to that sense of completion we were talking
That
about
you
in the
mentioned at the
beginning.
top. Close the loop.
So boom, it just comes right back in and
Hmm.
we're done. So until next time, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, and we will catch you later. Thank you so much.